My daughter Kuri has DRPLA, a disease that causes atrophy of the brain. It is hereditary and progressive. There is no cure. Kuri is bedridden. My husband Chiaki passed away 5 years ago from this disease. I wrote OHANA Family in hopes of finding a cure. I pray that I can save my daughter. Chapter 1. Chiaki and my father. Chiaki's behavior was getting worse and worse. Kuri also began to have grand mal seizures once every few months. She would walk with a limp and bend forward. Chiaki was still scolding Kuri, saying, "Your walking is terrible." I was a newspaper reporter and knew many Japanese doctors in Hawaii. I wrote a column for them, and some of them were more than just doctor-patient relations. I asked the doctors, "Can a person's personality ever change from an illness? Could medication suppress one's emotions?" All the doctors answered that although there are drugs such as stabilizers, it is not advisable for a healthy person to take them unnecessarily. Chiaki's behavior could be a sign of a stroke or apoplexy. It is not too late to get a divorce after the examination, I thought to myself. I said fearfully to Chiaki, "You have been forgetful lately, and even attacks have been occurring. So why don't you have yourself checked out? I think it would be a relief to have it looked at once." Chiaki agreed, albeit reluctantly, and we decided to have Dr. Y take a CT scan of Chiaki. Since it was not an emergency, the appointment was scheduled for 1 month later. While we are waiting for Chiaki's CT scan, my father and mother arrived from Japan. My father's cancer had already spread to all parts of his body, and he had been told that he had only 6 months to live. He was having a colostomy, and my mother and I were surprised that he would come all the way to Hawaii in such a state. But I guess he wanted to see Kuri one last time. When my mother and father used to come to Hawaii, they would climb Diamond Head and walk around Waikiki together. But now that he had terminal cancer, he would lie on the couch in the living room when they come to our house. When my father finally arrived with that very sick body, he said, "I should never have come to Hawaii." The cause was Chiaki. "What's wrong with him? He was crazy," my father said, expressing his displeasure. My father used to call Chiaki, "Chiaki-kun," but now he called him "that guy" or Chiaki. My father was selfish and self-serving, but to Chiaki, he suppressed his feeling as much as possible, even when he was dissatisfied. Especially after he was told that he had only a few months to live, he only thought about that so that our family could live happily. Even though my father was dissatisfied with Chiaki, he decided to keep it in the back of his mind and come to Hawaii thinking that it would be the last time. My father started to feel unwell during the trip and stopped talking to Chiaki. Chiaki had gotten so bad that he could not talk my father. Whenever my father tried to talk to him, Chiaki would change the subject as he thought of it, making it impossible to have a conversation. He also made wild assumptions and would deny any conversation. I endured this for years. But when my father saw Chiaki for the first time in a long time, he was in shock. My mother looked up Chiaki's symptoms in the library and suspected that he had picked disease, which makes it impossible for him to control his anger. I think he has something wrong with him too, I said. He is going to be tested next time, and I'll tell you. I think it would go away a little after he takes some medicine. I reassured my parents. When my father and mother arrived, Kuri was walking with a lamp, bending forward. There was a possibility that even Chiaki was sick. No, if this condition was not an illness, it would be worse. My father never said anything to me, but he really wanted to help me and Kuri return to Japan if I decide to divorce Chiaki due to his erratic behavior.